Hi, my name's Mike Felty, and I'm sorry I look like a bum today, but I've been working at the house. Decided to do a little video of our property we're selling for the people that may live a long way off, and hopefully can kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at before you make a long trip. I'm actually standing at the road just a few hundred feet up from our driveway, which is on the other side of the road where you turned our house. We own this side as well. I know in the pictures we didn't put any of the creeks in, so I thought I'd get a little shot of the creek here. I'm going to try to do a video going down the road, up our drive, all the way to the house, so you can kind of see where the house sits. And then I'll try to tell you a little bit more about the home that maybe is not in the listing, and even show you around the property a little bit. So bear with me. I do apologize if this is a little bumpy because I'm trying to drive a side-by-side and video. Trying not to get ran over in the road. So this is pulling into our drive, coming down the Gate City Highway or Bristol Highway, coming from Bristol. This is the guest house and the drive going to it. We'll go to it in a little bit. I'm going to take you a trip up our driveway right now. I thought this would be a good video today because the leaves are pretty. I think they're at their peak season. You hear people talk about they live somewhere secluded. I don't know if seclusion would be the definition of where we live. When you get halfway up the mountain here to where our home is, we literally have a mountain on all four sides of the house. So the word seclusion is kind of an understatement. This driveway, we don't have snow like some areas, but when we do get snow, I have a scraper blade. We also sometimes park our vehicles at the bottom of the drive and just ride our side by side up. As you can tell, it is a little steep. So here's when you reach the top. So here's the view from the back of the yard. And as you can see, there's a shop, there's a mountain behind it. Mountain to this side of the house, it goes all the way to the top of the mountain on that side is a property line. The mountain on this side, the top of it's not the property line. We go over the mountain, down through a valley, and up to the top of the next mountain. So this is the view from the front yard, and as you can see where the drive comes up, I told you there's a mountain on all four sides. You can kind of see it through the trees. Our home here, so some things I'll tell you about it. First of all, this is not a kit log home. I have people ask me that all the time. I actually sit and drew these plans out, spent months working on a set of prints, and got a gentleman that does plans, and he does a lot for the log homes to do our drawing or do our plans, and then got to the log company. So it's not a kit home. These logs are all cut. They were hewn and put together. It was actually erected on a property about 35, 40 minutes from here, the Highlands Custom Log Homes lot, which I have pictures of everything this house, the whole construction process, from the logs being erected at the lot there in Abingdon, Virginia, to them delivering them here, the crane setting the walls, everything. But a couple of things I'll tell you about the house, and I'm just doing a lot of this from memory. I'll miss a lot of things, but I tell people all the time, I don't think you can find not just a log home, but a home in this area that has had as much go into it as this home. When we set out to build this about 6, 7 years ago, Kim and I, my wife, we set out to build our dream home, and that's pretty much what we done. And everybody asks, well, why are you selling? That would be a question you'd probably have to ask my wife, because she can tell you about a disorder she says I've got where I'm never happy and can't sit still and something along those lines. So that would be a good question for her, not me. But some things about the house, like the stone, for example, there's no faux on this house or fake stone. This is all stone. It was mined in North Carolina. So all the stone is real. Most every log home you will see anywhere, if you go to Pigeon Forge or you watch the log home TV shows, Epic Log Homes, most every log home everything's wood. I'm showing you here all of the overhangs, every piece of soffit on this house. All the overhangs are huge. The front's about 12 foot, I think. All are aluminum, black aluminum, which I thought looked really good. It gives a lot of contrast. And the other thing is most of the homes have tongue groove wood under there, and it is the perfect place for bore bees. They love to drill holes in that, and I can honestly say we don't have issues with the bore bees here. Some other things that are a little unique, the basement walls are not block. They are solid concrete walls. I'm doing this from memory. I've got all the paperwork. I think they were 4,000 PSI concrete, but they are called superior walls. They were poured in a facility controlled environment in Salisbury, North Carolina, brought here by tractor and trailer and set, put together. They have lifetime warranty for anybody, don't matter who owns a home, for leaking, any kind of failure. But the thing that was so awesome about those is when they come to set the logs on this foundation, you can pull strings and it is perfect. And I don't care what kind of mason you've got, there's nobody usually can lay a block foundation that is perfect. And this one was within a 32nd of an inch being perfectly square. Here's the overhangs on the back as well. I'm just going to walk around the house outside and ramble a little bit here and try to remember stuff as I go. Some things that you would probably want to know. I'm standing here looking at the front. One thing that's big on a lot of homes, whether they're log or not log, when they have the big windows in the front like this, most of them have regular glass cut and put in those, which ends up being a magnifying glass and has a lot of heat inside in the summer. You lose a lot of R factor in the winter. These windows were custom made to size. They are the same manufacturer as the rest of the windows in the house. The R rating, UV rating, all that is the same as the rest of the home. The whole house has 6-inch guttering, which is all seamless. There's not pieced together, all seamless guttering. I try to do as much outside, anything really outside except for the logs having to be stained every 10 to 12 years. There's no maintenance. I've got the stone. All the railing around the porches is aluminum, except on this side, the regular porch where they went between the logs, I had custom made. They are powder coated, painted metal that's custom made to go between each log. Trying to think of other stuff to let you know. So inside this house, a lot of things that we done that's unique. Most log homes have, if they have 2 floors, when you're downstairs looking up at the ceiling for upstairs, what you're looking at is actually the bottom of the floors upstairs. They use thick tongue groove 2x6s for flooring, and what that does, it doesn't leave any place to run electrical or plumbing, so you see chases framed in log homes a lot of times, and I hate that. I think it looks cheap. So when we built this house, we done a 1-foot floor truss goes between the whole main floor and the second floor. So there's no chases in this house anywhere. All the plumbing and electrical is run just like it would be in a conventional house. The basement walls, I told you, were superior concrete walls. They are 10 foot tall. The theater room in the basement, we ended up doing what's called rock wool insulation in the ceiling of that room and all the walls to soundproof it. That's a real thick insulation. It's actually made out of wool, and that's what it's made for, sound dampening. The basement also has, we didn't put in the listing, but it has its own dehumidification system. It's a whole huge system. It ties into the heat pump. So the basement, you keep the humidity set and the temperature set, so we never have any moisture problems or anything like that in the basement. Each level has its own heat pump. Actually, upstairs, each side has its own heat pump. Another thing you'll notice when you look at the pictures inside, I mean, I don't have to say this because you can tell, but most log homes you go in, and my wife and I used to watch that Epic Log Home show all the time, and almost every log home has all wood inside. The cabinets, the floors, the walls, the ceilings, everything's the same color, and we just wanted to have some color and contrast, so every cabinet in our house, our custom-built cabinets, are all painted. There's none that's stained. We do have a lot of drywall inside, so you can have color, and if you can notice from the pictures, my wife likes color. Which obviously that can be changed. We done, the small details, the wiring in this house. God would only know how much extra wiring we used just to make sure we could have a light switch everywhere. There should be a light switch. If you're standing upstairs in the living room and you forgot to turn the lights out outside the house, you can turn them off from upstairs, the bottom of the steps, from inside the garage. If you're in the main floor and you need to turn the ceiling fans on upstairs in the loft, or the lights on or off, you can do it from upstairs, from downstairs. I don't have any idea how many 3-way and 4-way switches they are, but you will not find a place in this house that you would think, oh, I wish we'd have put a light switch here and I wouldn't have to walk here or walk there. Even our dusk to dawn lights outside on the end of the house and on the back, we have a switch in a closet, 2 switches for each of them. You can turn them off if you want. And all of the big overhangs here, you can't see them from the picture, but you can maybe see them there. There's also floodlights or can lights in all the overhangs you can turn on at night, which is really awesome. Some other things, I kind of overdo anything I do. I used to get mad when people talk about how anal I am or how picky I am about stuff, and I get told all the time I can't do nothing unless it's perfect. And I used to get mad, but I guess I should take that as a compliment. But little stuff, we just done a irrigation system here. We put in 4,300 feet of 1-inch line with 56 sprinkler heads for the whole yard. Has a sprinkler system. It's all Wi-Fi. You can control it electronically, set it up to do its own thing. It can even work off the weather if you want it set to a weather channel to tell it when to come on and off. We have some of it in the flower beds for irrigation for the plants. But even with it, I spent the extra money to do 1-inch Schedule 40 instead of just 1-inch PVC like everyone uses, which should be there forever. And that's the way I like to do things. I don't like to do something that I know in 5 or 6 years I'm going to have to go back and redo. I know I'm kind of all over the place, so I apologize. Like I said, I'm doing this from memory. So some things outside, when we done the drive, I have conduit ran everywhere outside. For example, when I built my shop up here last year, I didn't have to dig none of the driveway up. I had conduit from inside the house ran out under the drive so we could take up, and I was able to run my Cat 6 up there for the internet. Anything else in the house that needs to be run up. It does have its own power and its own transformer and meter. There you can see the transformer, which is all underground. So out, anywhere, even down the drive, part of the way down the driveway here, there's 2 sticks of 2-inch conduit that goes under the driveway in case you ever need to run something underneath. Inside the house, a few things that I mentioned. Every wall in this house, besides the log walls and the basement walls, which are concrete, all the exterior walls on the second floor, every interior wall are 2x6. We've done no 2x4 walls on this house at all. Even the interior walls between the bedrooms are all 2x6. Upstairs, the whole roof of this house is spray foam insulation instead of blow-in, which there's really no attic space because of the vaulted ceilings. But the efficiency of this house is unbelievable. The little guest house down at the bottom of the hill isn't even Well, it ain't even a fifth or sixth of the size. And the electric bill here, winter and summer both, are about the same as they are for the little house down at the bottom of the hill, which ain't bad, but it's just unbelievable, the efficiency. We did do what you can see right here, whole house generator for the house in case we lose power. And of course our outdoor wood stove, which we do use in the winter and we love it. That thing is pretty awesome. You can load it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. And basically our heat pumps don't ever have to cut on in the wintertime unless we just get lazy and don't want to put wood in. And we have about 100 acres of trees here, and they're falling, from time to time. So having wood is not a problem. If you enjoy getting out doing stuff like that, it's pretty awesome. You don't have to run it if you don't want. Inside, some things I'll tell you, you won't go to another house anywhere and feel like you walking in the same house because the tile looks the same or whatever. There's no carpet in this house at all. It's all either true oak hardwood floors, and all of the tile, with the exception of 2 bathrooms upstairs, are natural stone. So you're not going to go anywhere else and find the same tile or anything in another house. It's all natural stone. The 2 bathrooms upstairs, the 2 guest baths upstairs are actually not ceramic. Don't even remember what they're called now, but they're an actually bought tile. So you could find that in another house, but the rest of the whole house, the whole basement is concrete epoxy floors, which you can see from the pictures, and we actually love it because it's very easy to take care of. And I'm trying to think, I think I've about told all the extra stuff I can tell on the house. So I'm going to try to get in this side by side and take you around a little bit of the property. We have about probably 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles of roads and trails on the property, and room to put a lot more. You can't see the road going there, but I'll try to show you around. Well, before I show you around the property, I decided to walk in to make sure I hadn't forgot anything. A couple of things I'll tell you, not really important, but like every piece of trim around every window, every door, every baseboard, even on the outside, all the fascia boards is all made of hemlock. And that hemlock come from here on this property. I had a gentleman down the road cut it in boards, and then I had to rip it down and do all the work. Also, as you can see, my wife left the vacuum hooked up today before she left. We do have central vac through the whole house, upstairs, down, basement, got one in the garage where you can vacuum your vehicles and stuff out. And something on the fireplace that I thought I would mention. So my wife cannot stand smoke, and she talked me into doing gas logs in our fireplace. As you can see, you see the pipe that comes in there for the gas. But this fireplace is a functional fireplace. It's capped right now, but I do have the piece that goes on the top, the spark arrestor, so you can burn regular wood in it. And the thing that's so cool about that is I have the piece downstairs that screws right there to that if you remove the gas logs. And over here to the side, I'm gonna have to move a plant. You can see this little key. So this has a system like they have at Cracker Barrel. If you decide to burn real wood in here, you can pile your wood up in there and reach around there, turn that with a little key and light a tube that goes all the way across. It's a starter. So it'll get your wood going. You don't have to worry about burning paper or trying to get kindling or trying to get a fire going. So you can turn the fire on with the propane, and when it gets burning, just shut it off. So pretty awesome. Wished I could have used that, but I've never had the opportunity. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna try to take you on a tour. This definitely is not all of the property, but just to kind of give you an idea how everything lays. So there's 2 different ways we can start up the mountain here in a vehicle or on the side by side. And we'll go this way first. So come up to the shop here and make the turn. Of course, you can go down the shop. But we're going up the mountain this way. show you what I mean. There's a road going on out the property, but it is straight up and down on the back side. So we do have a road that runs all the way out the top of our property line here. I'll show you out in just a little while. All right, I'm gonna try to show you on out the mountain a little bit. And when we're running out the top of the mountain here on this trail, we're running about 15 feet over on our property, right on the property line. This all the way out to the property line, so I'm not going to run it all. I'm going to show you a little bit of the view from up here. Pretty amazing. Once you get further on out, you can see a lot more, but you can see kind of see the mountains through there. But some beautiful country. And this is all our side. So I backed up a few feet, and I'm going to go down the other end of the mountain, kind of show you how you can come around and come out by the little guest house all the way back where we first come up to the house. Sorry this is a little bumpy, but hard to drive and video at the same time. Haven't been down through here in a few weeks. I hope there's no trees blocking us. See a deer. So now we are down to the holler that runs up between the whole piece of property. I don't know if you can see the water down there. They didn't show any pictures of the creek, but this creek runs from one end of the property all the way to the other, all the way down the, all the way back down to the Gay City Highway. Here's another intersection This road goes up and comes back out right behind my shop. We're going down to the guest house the back way. Stop right here a minute, get my seatbelt off. The creek is down there, but just to kind of give you a reference as to where we're at, there's the house. There's the roof of the back porch. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Some of these roads were here already. This road's been here since before I was ever born. This property's been in my family since 1896. And I don't know when this road was put in, but this comes to the back. You can see the back of the guest house there. Some of the other roads we were on earlier, I cut and put in. Right here, I'm going to get off the side by side and show you. Down there's where we pulled in at the start of this video, the Gate City Highway, the driveway. So this is the drive that comes up and goes up to the guest house, which is where my grandmother was born and raised and my mom was born and raised. So here you can see the creek a little bit. It's a little dry right now. We've not had a lot of rain, but you can see the creek goes down, goes under the drive there, continues on back down to the big creek along the Gate City Highway. So I think we've made a complete loop. So the last thing I'm going to show, we're coming back up the driveway to the house. Looks like we have a little breeze blowing today. Just going to show you out towards the little shop out here. Shed there. And you can go up to the field above the house from this side as well. Took this road in a couple of years ago. Back up to the upper field, and then we can go right back down to the shop. I'll show you where the road comes in behind the shop. A few minutes ago when we was down and out at the intersection, I told you the road goes up and comes in behind the shop. That's what I'm getting ready to show you.
sitting just a few minutes ago.
Well, as you can tell, I'm not a videographer, and this is definitely not a professional video, but hopefully this will help someone, kind of give them an idea if it's something they're interested in. And if someone wanted more video of something different, there's a lot more property here than, I mean, there's no way I could do video and show you all the property, all the trails in the woods, but that gives you a really good idea. So hopefully this will help. Thanks.